Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back from the XMG Pro Invite. Of course, a tournament involving professional players and also involving potential balance changes to STARCRAFT 2. Right now we're in a PvP between Daisy and San, with San currently up 1-0, which means he is 1 win away from advancing to the final.
That's right. Of course, a special shout out to the sponsor of this event, XMG.
I love XMG. Can we just spend like 3 minutes talking about them?
We could, but we missed part of the game.
That's okay. So XMG,
get in the game.
We'll get in the game and we'll chat a little bit about XMG.
Wait, let's introduce the players first.
Sure, that's fair enough.
Over here to the upper right-hand location of Yansu, down 0-1. A tricky Oracle snuck in his base that not even we actually were able to catch.
Yep.
His name is Daisy. Of course, a red Protoss. And his opponent in the bottom left-hand location from Western Wolves. One game one with a very interesting build. It seemed greedy, but it really, really worked out for him. We have the blue Protoss, San.
Again, guys, this tournament would not be happening without XMG, without Todd. So show both of them your support, please. You can check out XMG at xmg.gg. They have a laptop that that we've been showcasing throughout the tournament. A nice little promotional video. If you're looking for a new laptop, definitely look no further. And again, you can find out more information at xmg.gg. Honestly, it looks pretty slick. It looks pretty cool. I haven't personally tried it out, but all experience I've personally had with XMG laptops have been pretty good at events and stuff. So try it out.
So in this game, Daisy is doing something I think I've seen 2/3 of the PvPs on this map.
Yeah,
this strategy has been used. There are some ways to beat it. One of the biggest ways is you counterattack really quickly, and of course he expands somewhere else. Now, the probe. Well, now he knows exactly what's going on. How is San gonna play against this strategy? That's the big question. We do see a Zealot being chrono boosted out. That can be used to try to delay the cannons, or can be used to just straight counterattack and attack your opponent's base. Now, without a wall-in, with no wall-in from Daisy at the top of his ramp here, this means that actually Stalkers or Mothership Core can counter very effectively because the one cannon worker line can't really defend the entire worker line. Here comes the Zealot.
Okay.
He's going to be able to cancel one of the cannons, but I do think maybe he can get two if he's super on top of his game. How good are you doing, Zealot?
So he doesn't
Zealot, you're sleeping.
It doesn't want a cannon to finish.
Zealot.
Zealot, there's a cannon right in front of you. There you go. I don't understand. Did he not A-move?
He didn't, because he
just right-clicked on the cannon.
The reason why is if you attack move and the probe gets near, it has a higher target priority, so Zealot will chase the probe, and the probe can draw you into the cannon for the back.
What are the biggest balance implications here based on these new maps?
I mean, for this strategy, we're not seeing too much.
Okay.
Of course, that
was a bit of a joke question. Sorry to take you off guard there.
So this is, of course, a standard counter to the build. You go ahead and you run across the map with your force. And the tricky thing is that this is very hard to defend with just cannons unless you have a thing at your ramp. And even if you do, of course, the Mothership Core can bypass you. See, San's expanding at his opponent's potential third base. This is exactly how, this is the most standard way to combat this type of cannon rush.
Yep.
We're seeing right here.
It's kind of like in ZVP when when they cannon rush your natural expansion hatchery, you generally build a hatchery somewhere else, except it's your main base in PvP.
So you can see Daisy's trying to set this defense, but Stalkers could run around and get in the very back of here if they're tricky. It looks like he's going to go straight for the cannon. Oh, the Stalker gets surrounded, but there's a Zealot Mothership Core there as well. So Daisy is in kind of a hard spot here. This is a very difficult situation to defend.
Yep.
The cannon should be... Oh, the Mothership Core wasn't attacking it. The Zealot probably needs to go in there and take a couple hits as well.
This was a really cool reaction from San.
Yeah.
So far, that Zealot is just refusing to move.
Yeah, well,
he
might not want to get close to this cannon.
It's just he's standing there taking the photon balls in the face. It's like, whatever.
Of course,
more manly.
Nexus has fallen. These probes are trying to evacuate. A couple of them go down. Of course, they want to get over to this Nexus, which should be up, and then they can resume mining. Meanwhile, we do have a Stalker chrono boosted out. Now, Daisy's playing this better than almost anyone. I've seen most people just die as soon as this counter hits him. Daisy's actually doing okay. He's been able to mine a little bit here, using a couple of probes. Once he gets a Stalker out, though, that Stalker can probably push this attack back. And we're in a very interesting game because Daisy's going to stay alive from the counter. Oh, he's going to pull some probes. I don't know if he should be pulling probes.
Trying to kill that Zealot. Will the Zealot finally die? He's taken so much punishment throughout this entire game, and there he goes. See you later.
I think the Stalker could push it all back on his own, to be fair.
I think that Stalker
with
can actually
the
take
cannon
down
here.
the Stalker and the Militia Corps.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the Zealot with the cannon here, that would have kept the Zealot at bay.
So
Meanwhile,
from here, oh god.
Daisy's just trying to be annoying, pretending my cannon rush. So from here, San does have one gateway up. He can build Zealots.
Yep.
But he has to rebuild the side core. He has no warp gate.
Meanwhile, San's side core is about 20% of the way done, and that's probably. Oh, sorry.
Daisy's is finished.
Oh, Daisy's done.
San's is halfway done because he lost his first one.
Right. Right. Okay.
Oh,
so
you know, Daisy's trying to distract him with another cannon rush. I don't. You know what this Stalker is? What can it do? Mothership Core is gonna
die.
Oh, it almost killed the core though.
That was not worth it, and he lost the cannon too.
Yeah.
So San's gonna be super happy with how that went.
So
Guess what? Look at how low the Stalker is and the Militia Corps. There's like 5 HP between them. Okay, 14 HP between them, but they're gonna regenerate those shields, and they're gonna be twice as effective. Daisy going for the distraction method again.
Yeah.
San saying, "Good try, my friend."
I feel San has advantage here.
Daisy's like, no, San's like, why don't we test balance, bro?
Yeah, this is interesting.
So from here,
I do think San has a slight edge. Now the warp gate timings are similar on both players. San has this extra gateway, though it's once it's a warp gate, won't matter where it is. But for now, it's a little hard to rally in forces.
now, what else does San? Is that just an assimilator in San's original base?
Yes.
And the pylons?
Yes. Just 2 pylons.
I mean, so all those buildings are mildly exposed. 2 pylons might be the most important thing there.
Yeah, you could warp into Zealot later once he has
Exactly.
a warp gate, and you could kill both those. Of course.
Oh,
time
fancy
warp.
Time warp.
Now, how does Daisy not die here? He has 1 cannon, but okay, he has 2 Stalkers.
Mothership Core on the way.
I think he
Has
might
some
be
probes
okay
that he can
here.
fight with. And that Stalker should die. Yep, gets
Oh, he
taken
got
out.
it. And with good micro, Daisy should be. Oh, this Zealot finally. This it's a new Zealot.
Wow,
He doesn't learn to
time
R the
warp.
whole position.
Ouch. That Stalker gets thrown off the cliff. Cannon actually doing a decent job
Wow.
here. And
Yeah.
Mothership Core is around. So both these Stalkers are going to have to retreat. Actually, one dying. And San going to retreat for now. 30 to 26 is the supply, and these guys are literally right next to each other.
And the supplies. This is pretty.
Oh, Mothership Core gets taken out. Oh, but the Stalker might die. Nope.
No, it's
Wasn't
gonna
able to
stay
get the last hit off.
So the game's reset. It's like a normal PvP, right?
Yeah.
Both players hit 20
Except
workers.
they're right next to each other, Nick.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. So wait, whose natural is this?
I would argue Daisy's natural.
You would argue? Okay.
Yeah.
Where's San's natural?
I think his next expansion will be in his main, honestly.
Or is he probably back here?
Yeah, maybe. I
Because,
mean,
of
I
course,
feel
the
like
main
he
you'd have to
would
clean up
clear
all
out.
these-
Yeah, I feel like he would clear that out if this game gets long enough.
But sending forces down here is a big risk, right?
They're all just making gateways.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no way San can afford to send his units back because he just loses his main.
Yep.
We're gonna call that his main
Unless-
from now on.
Yeah.
So both players are just have a ton of gateways.
Oh, Time Warp does he have?
No, he doesn't have
Yep,
time warp quite
there's
yet.
a Time
Oh,
Warp
from Daisy,
San,
yeah.
though. Or Daisy, excuse
Daisy.
me. Yep.
But San has greater stalker count.
That's
Daisy
a lot
back
of
away.
Stalkers.
Daisy.
Overextending a little bit, and remember, since he used that Time Warp, he won't have Photon Overcharge, which is actually a pretty big deal.
The cannon is helping out a lot here, though. Some extra damage output. Additional warp ins. Mothership Core. That's a brave stalker.
Oof, there's another Time Warp.
Yeah, I think you want to keep. He was afraid of these stalkers draining down the Mothership Core.
Yep.
Of course, right now the situation is very even in income. Total units, though, we have 7 stalkers from San, 5 from Daisy. Daisy's warping in units. Daisy has 4 gates. San has 4 gates and a robo. So San is a little bit ahead in tech once the robo finishes. He's picking off some probes here, but
Nice.
he's kind of
Might get
stuck.
trapped a little bit. There's a pylon coming forward. Zealot trying to get to the front, but he's being blocked by the Stalkers, which is actually fairly important. There we go, moving him aside so the Zealot can get by. But overall, San having a much better trade here. The Zealot finally getting up close with those Stalkers, but Daisy's going to have to back up. Warping in 2 more Stalkers, try to fend this off. And San with some really nice micro eventually will be shoved away. So still fairly even trades going on.
Really,
here.
though, 3 more stalkers warping in here.
Oh, that one Stalker's so low, he's not able to get him. Did he just kill his own Zealot?
No, that was Daisy's Zealot.
Okay, fair enough.
So now he's pushing in here. I think San has enough use. There's no photon overcharge as long as he avoids the cannon. And look at this.
And he keeps picking off probes, which is
Yeah.
great. And he has probably more probes than his opponent at this point.
Yeah,
23
he's
to
killed
20.
a couple.
Okay.
He's up by 2 stalkers, down by 1 Zealot. Oh, warping in 2 more stalkers. Daisy's warping in 1 stalker. Both these players
he
are
has that cannon. Ultimately, he, like...
But the cannon can't really stop
Yeah.
microed stalker as long
Sure.
as he just stays. I mean, he can just kill the Nexus, right?
Yep.
At a
And
certain
while he's
point.
shooting the Nexus, you gotta keep poking at him, I guess.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Daisy's trying to go out and fight the sides he can't, backs away.
So Daisy's only engaging with the Stalkers and the Zealots are in front, and that's pretty smart, which means that San will have to kill the Zealots, which means Daisy can get some free shots on the Stalkers. So that's what Daisy's looking to do right now.
Daisy's microing this very well.
got a very low Stalker there that he wants to keep alive.
Oh,
The probe's actually being pulled here. Daisy's going for it right now. The probe's getting some decent surface area on those Stalkers. Daisy's trying to shove this force away, and that's the only advantage Daisy has right now is that he can have those probes fighting in the battle, but San's micro's still a little bit too good. Nice kiting from him. Targeting down the Stalkers, trying to stay away from the probes, but Zealots are still alive here from Daisy, and these Stalkers will eventually get cleaned up, but the reinforcement potential is going to be much better for San because none of his probes are dying during all of this.
And they're all mining, in fact, and continue to warp in units. Daisy just barely pushes that away. Now, workers killed is a lot. Now, how many of those were in that last engagement is hard to tell. I think he did about 20. Now he's on to 15, so he lost 5 additional probes in that engagement. That actually wasn't too bad. I think that might have been his best move, but the question is, if he can't kill this high ground pylon, it's kind of all for naught. And
he's
now
trying to. That Zealot's trying to be a hero. Oh, Daisy's like, all right, back up, little buddy. We'll go back and get him later. So Zealot's like, okay. 2 more Zealots warped in, but San's resources are much better. Some sentries being mixed in, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting choice.
I feel like whoever can mix in a Mothership Core would be nice, but these guys' resources are so low right now. And they're that's why you get the sentries. Great force fields there from San, isolating that Stalker, but Daisy's still able to scoot away from that location. Zealots are going to fall, but 2 Stalkers still alive. One good, and they're just typing to each other right now. What are they saying? He's at 13.
They're saying, you played well, good sir, but I am the stronger Protoss today.
I'm so confused.
The forces of Akala support me and not you. And Daisy said, hey man, why don't you use more oracles? They've been changed. And San said, why don't you not cannon rush me?
I understood that last one, GG.
Yeah. I was translating pretty well, I think.
That's not what they were saying, man.
You sure?
Yes.
How do you don't even know Korean. How do you know?
You're right. Nick knows Korean. Well,
it could have been.
We're gonna see San move on there. What a interesting game.
Yeah, you know, I've almost never seen it play out just that way. Normally, either one player ends up way ahead or way behind from that cannon rush, right? Either that Zealot Stalker Mothership Core counter just kills the guy who cannon rushed, or the guy tries to defend a cannon rush straight up and fails, or like someone basically usually loses within the first 5 minutes. But the way that worked out is that Zealot Stalker Mothership Core counter did just barely enough damage to equalize things.
Yeah.
And it was a really interesting situation, and then it was just this crazy micro war. It's kind of reminiscent of Wings of Liberty, which is the 4-gate on 4-gate Stalker micro.
If you're having trouble with cannon rushes, especially on Yonsu, which you might, considering that's a very popular strategy, check out how San did that, because that was pretty cool, countering immediately with the Zealot Stalker and a Mothership Core, then just re-expanding somewhere else. It's tough to make work, but if you practice it enough, it becomes much easier as time goes along. So that being said, San is going to be moving on to the finals. He's going to be playing the winner of Morrow versus Straylock, which is going to be our next best of 3. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the XMG Pro Invite. We'll be back with Morrow versus Straylock after a quick break.